Good morning, dear students. Once again, welcome to the class of Dynamics of Machine. Our today's topic is balancing of rotating masses. We are going to cover the introductory part of this balancing of rotating masses, and this topic belongs to the unit number 3. Let us see the course outcome. Students will be able to estimate the effect of unbalancing and causes of unbalance. The learning outcome for this course is we will understand the balancing of rotating parts and the application of balancing. Let's have a quick revision of the previous topics. We have studied the effect of gyroscopic couple on airplane. We have also studied the gyroscopic effect on naval ship, as well as we have also seen the stability of four-wheel drive on a curved path. We have also solved some numericals which are related with the gyroscopic couple. Let us see the balancing of rotating masses. The speed is a need of time. The high speed in any machine is a common phenomena nowadays. With high speed, the safety is also important as well as the precision. The destructive effect of the high speed has been observed as time went, and some safety precautions were invented, whereas some persons have invented the method of balancing the rotary element or the components. Vibration at high speed is a major cause, because of which lots of equipments get damaged. We know that when some masses are attached at the rotating shaft, those masses also rotates. The rotation of the masses produced the centrifugal force. If the centrifugal force increases, it tries to bend the shaft and it will produce the uneven vibrations. To reduce the uneven vibrations, a separate mass is attached in the opposite direction of the disturbing mass, and this method is called as balancing of rotating masses. There are four types of balancing the masses. Number 1, balancing of single rotating mass by a single mass rotating in the same plane. Number 2, balancing of single rotating mass by a two masses rotating in different planes. Balancing of different masses rotating in the same plane, and the last method, which is the fourth one, balancing of different masses rotating in different planes. Now let us see the first one, that is balancing of single rotating mass by a single mass rotating in the same plane. Let us say there is an axis and this axis belongs to a particular shaft. We have attached the one disturbing mass, and exactly opposite to it we have attached a balancing mass. The radius of the disturbing mass is r1 and radius of the balancing mass is r2. Let us say m1 is a mass which belongs to disturbing mass and mb1 is a mass which belongs to balancing mass. Means here m1 mass is a primary mass which is to be balanced, and to balance this mass we have attached a balancing mass called as mb1 exactly opposite to it. So single mass is balanced by a single mass. Now we will see some theoretical portion which are related with the balancing of a single rotating mass by a single mass rotating in the same plane. We know that the centrifugal force exerted by the mass m1 is given by the equation Fc1 equals to m1 into v square. Therefore, Fc1 will be equals to m1 multiplied by omega square into r1 This is our equation number 1. The centrifugal force exerted by the balancing mass is given by the equation Fb1 equals to mb1 into omega square into r2. This is our equation number 2. Equating the equation number 1 and 2, we get m1 into omega square into r1 is equals to mb1 into omega square into r2, which means m1 into r1 should be equals to mb1 into r2, because both the masses are attached on the same shaft, therefore they are having the same angular velocity. That's why m1 into r1 will be equals to mb1 into r2. Let us see the second topic, that is balancing of single rotating mass by two masses rotating in different planes. When the single mass is balanced by the two masses, following are the two conditions arises. These conditions are: number 1, the plane of the disturbing mass may be in between the planes of the two balancing mass. Number 2, the planes of two disturbing mass may lie on the left or right of the two planes containing the balancing mass. Let us see. First, we will draw a line QP, and we have attached a disturbing mass at the center. Let us say this is having the mass m, and this mass is attached on the plane A. We have attached a first mass at point Q, which is the intersection of this balancing mass and the axis of rotation of this shaft, and the another mass is attached at point P. Let us say the first mass is having the mass m1 and it is attached on the plane L. Similarly, the second mass is having the mass m2 and it is attached on the plane M. The distance between mass m1 and m2 is small l, and the distance between plane L to the plane A is L1, whereas the distance between plane A to plane M is L2. Let us see the side view of this diagram. When you see from the side view, you will see the mass is having some angular distance, and these two balancing masses are at the bottom of this axis. So first mass is having the large radius and second mass is having a less radius. So m1 will be away from the axis, m2 will be somehow nearer to the axis. Let us say m1 is having a radius r1 and m2 is having a radius r2, whereas the balancing mass is having a radius r. Now, we know that centrifugal force exerted by the mass m at the plane A is given by the equation Fc equals to m into r into omega square. Therefore, the centrifugal force exerted by the mass m1 at the plane L is given by the equation Fc1 equals to m1 into r1 into omega square. Similarly, the centrifugal force exerted by the mass m2 at the plane M is given by the equation Fc2 equals to m2 into r2 into omega square. Since the net force on the shaft is 0, therefore the centrifugal force of the disturbing mass must be equal to the sum of the centrifugal forces on the balancing mass. Therefore, Fc should be equals to Fc1 plus Fc2. Therefore, m into r will be equals to m1 into r1 plus m2 into r2, and this is our equation number 1. In order to find out the magnitude of the balancing force in the plane L, Take the movement P, which is the point of intersection of the plane M and the axis of rotation. Therefore, Fc1 into L will be equals to Fc into L2, and this is our equation number 2. Now, similarly, in order to find out the magnitude of the balancing force in the plane M, take the moment about Q, which is the point of intersection of the plane L and the axis of rotation. Therefore, Fc2 into L will be equals to Fc into L1, and this is our equation number 3. Here, the equation number 1 shows the static balancing condition, but in order to achieve the dynamic balancing, the equation number 2 and 3 must also be satisfied. Means, we have already seen in the diagram, the mass which is to be balanced is on the center, and the balancing masses are attached on the two different planes. One mass is attached on the left hand side and another mass is attached on the right hand side. So, in this way, we can see the balancing of two masses rotating in the different planes. Now, we have covered the following program outcomes, that is the basic knowledge. And in the assignment, we have to give the answers of the question which are available on the below link. And in our next topic, we will learn the balancing of multiple masses in the same plane. Thank you.